Hey folks, it's us, podcasting wonderkins John Bishop and Lucas Southworth.
Although this is a podcast about cars, it is not age appropriate for the target demographic of these films, as we usually end up talking about the reproductive organs of Lightning McQueen.
Alright, now let's take a look under the hood.
Hello and welcome to the Chat, the only podcast brave enough to ask the question, hey, what's up with cars? Let's talk about superheroes.
But John, that's what we do all the time every week.
Yes, but this time, we're doing it again.
Yeah, okay. I'm Lucas Southworth and he's John Bishop. We're the hosts of the podcast that you're listening to.
Of the podcast. So, what are we talking about in regards to superheroes this week?
This was your idea. We've done this episode before.
That's right, Lucas. We're talking about the Snyder Cut. Little known fact that there is a Snyder Cut of all of the Cars films. And it is unfortunate that we haven't heard about them as widely as we should have, because the movement would clearly have also encouraged Cars to be released Snyder Cut, HBO, you know, the hard, gritty, color washed out, weird teal effect on everything. Everything's wet. 4 hours per film would have been great.
Yeah, and as we all know, it will fix every single problem that every person had. It will go from being a universally not super well received movie to the greatest movie of all time. I'm talking, of course, about Cars 2, not about Justice League. I have no opinions on that.
Mm-hmm. As I'm sure you all have heard, and spoiler alert if you haven't, it's come out that in the Cars 2 Snyder Cut, which is going to be 4-hour-long episodes on HBO, this time HBO has decided to allow us to know beforehand that Mater does kill a lot.
And this time in Cars 2, we actually get to see Darkseid. So that's very exciting.
Darkseid shows up in the middle of the film, but he does then leave and doesn't impact the plot all that much, which is strange because it is, 4 hours long of one film, which is now also TV show.
Yeah, you did mention it was episodes, so it is a television show also now.
Just a little side note, you did hear that about the Snyder Cut of the Justice League, right?
Oh, they're cutting it into episodes like they did with Quibi movies?
I mean, I didn't know they did that with Quibi, but yes.
Yeah, a lot of the content that was Quibi were actually like original films that they just cut into 10-minute chunks and released. Quibi was a monster of a platform that I have a lot of thoughts about that will not fit here.
Are you sure? Because I'm very curious.
It's just 10 minutes is such an awkward amount of time. People want either ultra short or like an hour long, and they only allowed you to watch it on your phone. And who cares that you could like have it in portrait or landscape mode? And like, it makes me sad because a lot of people worked really, really hard to make the best content they could for it, or had the content that they made separately cut into 10-minute chunks and viewed exclusively on a cell phone. And that's really sad, and it was a dumb platform, and it makes me mad to think about. And that's Lucas's take on Quibi. It's most people's take on Quibi, but just condensed into one take.
Now, you did say, is Quibi already over?
If it's not, it's gonna be. It made no money.
All right, bold take. I will retort that it's got Idris Elba, so it can't be all bad.
Yeah, like I'm sure some people made some decent, like the content made for it. I obviously have watched none of it because I'm so angry about Quibi, but I'm sure there were some excellent artists and actors and filmmakers and content creators who made some really cool stuff for it. But the platform itself is stupid as hell.
Fair enough. I also haven't watched any of it.
No one has. Because why would they? You can't watch it. It's movies, but you can't. But they're 10-minute chunks, and you can't watch them on your TV.
All right, so we've learned with the advent of Netflix that what people are willing to watch is strange.
Yeah,
Because if you have one movie that is 8 hours long, no one's going to watch it. But if you have a TV show that is 8 hour long episodes, people will sit down and watch all of it in one day.
yeah.
So, what if Quibi heard that and thought, okay, but what if we made a movie into episodes?
I mean, I don't know, man. I think they were thinking like, the attention span of today, like we've got to nail that. And like that's a good thought of like people want like the desire for length of content has changed, but it has not changed into 10 minutes. It has changed to like 3 at tops or otherwise you're going a full hour. Like that's what all YouTube videos are. They're either like 3 minutes long or 1 hour long.
I mean, I've always been a fan of the 10-minute to 20-minute YouTube video. I can see how 10-minute videos might be a thing.
10-minute, I don't know, 10-minute like episodes of something doesn't make sense to me though. Like 10-minute like, hey, I'm vlogging about my life, or 10-minute like I did some pranks.
All right,
Like
but think
sure.
about like Adventure Time.
Yeah, but those are paired to fill a 30-minute time slot. Like when they originally released, they were designed to fill a 30-minute time slot still, probably. I
See, I don't
don't know
think
that, but
Quibi's saying, hey, you only have time to watch it for 10 minutes, so watch a 10-minute thing. I think it's more of a, hey, you're a weird person like everyone else. You probably like feeling like you finished something. So why not finish a bunch of things? Sit down for 3 hours and watch, I don't know, 18 different episodes of a TV show.
while holding your phone in your hand the whole time.
Or you can wear one of those wonderful things that like wrap around your neck and hold your phone in front of you.
Okay, we're talking a lot about Quibi, which is like not even topical anymore, but I have to respond because one part of the marketing was literally like for when you only have 10 minutes. Like
How
all
much
of the
time you got?
commercials,
I don't know,
a
only about
Quibi.
a Quibi.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. They were like, we're inventing a new word for 10-minute slots of free time in which you will watch our content. Like, what are you talking about? And two, what do you. I feel like what everyone does when they watch things on Netflix on the TV nowadays is they watch it, but also they have their phone in their hand and are scrolling through Facebook or Twitter or Reddit or something.
While
And
also playing the Switch.
yes, like they're doing 3 things at once, most of the time involving their phone. But you put the content on the phone and they can't, and you say, no, you can't watch it on the TV, which
See,
baffling.
I've got the solution for this. You watch a Quibi on your phone while you're scrolling through Reddit on your Switch, and you get a Switch Lite to play.
Baffling decisions all around. They lost billions, maybe millions. I don't know. One of the two. They lost a lot of money because they're dumb. Let's talk about car superheroes.
Sure, but I've got one closing statement, and that's they're marketing to the wrong people. They shouldn't be marketing to young people who have all the free time in the world. They should be marketing to specifically like parents who just became parents who don't ever have free time because like, oh, I can watch an episode of something in 10 minutes while my kid decides to take a 10-minute nap for some reason. Okay.
Yep. I could see that marketing working a lot better. I don't know why only on your phone. It makes no sense. Uh
That's
we
fair.
have to it's a Cars podcast. One I'll say a thing that'll transition us back. Do you know what today is for us, not for the listener, John?
Our year and a half?
No. That's stupid. It's Lightning McQueen Day because it is September 5th, 9/5.
Ah, you know, I'm upset because I think you've actually mentioned this specifically before.
No, yeah, we've been doing this long enough that I did this last year. So it's only on you, man.
Fair enough. Oh boy.
But we're not
Okay.
going to talk much about him today. Happy Lightning McQueen Day. Make sure to reach out to. I'm again. It's not going to be Lightning McQueen Day for you all when you're listening to this because that's how linear time works. Unless it's a year from now or some period. Okay, it could be Lightning McQueen Day. You got me, but probably not. So make sure to get like the belated Lightning McQueen Day cards and send like, "Oops, we forgot, ka-chow," that kind of cards off to your loved ones. I have a weird energy coming in today, man.
Fair enough, but we did talk about Quibi for 10 minutes, so I think we both do.
We did a Quibi of Quibi. Man, who could have said?
A Quibi. All right, so let's talk about superheroes. Let's talk about... What are you doing, Bella? Bella!
She's pissed, John. She's mad about Quibi.
Bella does not handle new things well because excitable.
Is dog, so.
Mm-hmm. Is dog. Also, when Bella started discovering rain in that 2-week period where it rained every day, it was very difficult on her because that meant that, of course, she can't go outside to pee even though there's a dog door.
That's rough.
How dare you?
Hey, man, I do what I can. Talk about superheroes.
All right. So, superheroes. Let's talk about superpowers in the Carsverse that would not be superpowers.
Okay.
All right.
Fast.
Well, fast, sure, but depends on how fast. Because if we're talking like Ida from Boku no Hero, then of course he's as fast as a car, so he's nothing.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like the Flash fast, then that's just, Mater.
Yeah, that's still something. That's just Mater is an interesting statement because Mater's everything. Mater is the tip of the power. He's like what's the android who can take all the powers? Amazo?
Mm-hmm.
Is he like, I don't know, the zenith of power in the DC universe? Probably not.
No, not at all.
Yeah. He gets super powerful in the DC animated universe. Whatever.
Yeah. But it's weird. DC's power levels, well, no, comics in general, power levels are ridiculous and you shouldn't even worry about them because if you're a fanboy who argues, oh, Superman could totally beat Thor. No, Thor's got magical lightning, so he could... I mean, sure, but like also literally God exists in both universe. So,
Yeah, who knows, man? Who can say anything about anything?
Yep.
Us. That's what a podcast is. We tricked you.
All right, so fast but not too fast is not a superpower in the Carsverse. Super strength, that's just being a bigger vehicle.
Yeah, again, like Superman or Hulk level strength is a different story because they can like move planets, etc., and maybe destroy planets.
As we discussed in the A-Van-gers episode, though, the phrase of original Superman was as powerful as a locomotive, so exactly as strong as Superman.
Yes, but obviously Superman is more powerful than a locomotive. There's been a bit of a power creep with him.
There was a panel I read like within the past few years, and it was Superman having his strength tested, and it was like, oh yeah, it's about 52 quintillion pounds.
Yeah.
Enough to destroy the entirety of the Earth, even though he was just in the Earth's core being tested.
Yeah. But the statement stands as like maybe original Superman. Like his original appearance is as equally powerful as a locomotive. So like, I don't know, trains are Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already said trains are gods, so I guess they're also Thor.
Well, we've said they're demigods, which...
Demigods, yeah.
There you go.
Percy Jackson, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Percy Jackson's... I never even read past The Lightning Thief, but the more I think about the fact that they were like, oh yeah, there's no such thing as having a disability per se. You just have other things that make you special and able to read Greek.
Yeah, that is a thing that they said.
That's just so weird.
It is, but I will say he's been very good at
inclusivity.
Yes, thank you, of the LGBTQA plus community. So, win some, you lose some.
Nice. I'm not going to mention the sad thing. Okay.
I love it. It's a comedy podcast. Why would you mention a sad thing? Uh,
Yeah, good point. So, super strength, there's that. And then there's ability to, I guess, I would say like energy projectiles or whatnot, but really that's just what I'm saying is there are tanks who can fire missiles. So,
yeah, like Scarlet.
being a gun.
Yeah, like Scarlet Witch or like Cyclops, who have like laser beams they shoot, or magic, or Doctor Strange powers. That's maybe not fully represented by anyone other than Mater. But like Iron Man, we got lots of Iron Men
Hmm.
here. It's a
Now,
civilization of Iron Men.
you've brought me to something I wanted to talk about, and I don't know if we talked about it in the Avengers episode, but if we're going for laser vision,
Sure.
do they shoot it out of their eyes or their headlights?
One would make a lot more sense because it's where light comes out, and laser is good, is like powerful light.
And
But
also, if we consider it to be the eyes, then their laser vision is far more powerful.
why is that?
The beam would be massive.
That is true. Okay, yeah. Well, the beam would be massive coming out of their headlights, too. Either
Yeah, but
way.
like, even comparatively, it's still magnitudes more power.
Yeah. Are you assuming that the beam comes out of the entirety of their windshield or their pupils?
I'm assuming that it's just comparable. Eye size is
Yeah.
like we're doing that as a reference. So, like, if Superman's eye lasers are so big, like, if we assume the diameter is the size of their pupil, then the size of the pupil of a car is massive.
Yeah, but that, I mean, that also goes along with it would be bad if they fought like, I don't know, me, but in their universe it scales with the size of their body, so it wouldn't actually have that much more of an impact. It'd have like an environmental impact of like, if they miss, the building gets more destroyed.
Hmm.
But
Boy, howdy, just thinking about how car sizing can scale in this universe. Imagine the difference between, like, Luigi having the laser vision versus
sure.
uh, the Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Their laser vision going against each other is going to be very tragic.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like your classic like you see like Zod and Superman do their laser vision at each other and it like meets and it's really cool and cinematic. Luigi would be enveloped fully.
Yeah. Oh boy. And then you think about like zeta beams, and that's just crazy.
I know Omega beams that Darkseid has. What are Zeta beams? Even better Omega beams?
What Darkseid has.
Or do I just have the wrong name for them?
You know, it might be both.
Okay, whatever.
Oh no, I got DC. DC has both. The Zeta beam is the teleporting one. Omega beams
Got
is
it.
yeah.
The one that he can aim and like will always hit or whatever.
Hmm. The laser that will chase you and look like lightning, but Zeta beams are the teleporty beams that
Sure.
I believe might come from boom tubes.
Sure. I assume the average person doesn't know any of the stuff we're talking about, but I'm curious if you, our listeners, know the stuff we're talking about. So let us know if you understood the words Omega beams, dark side, and boom tubes.
Yes. All right. All right. All right. All right.
I mean, we talked about this literally last week, which is why we're talking about it this week. But flying is nothing.
Flying is nothing except like if you're a car, but even then it's nothing because we've seen cars do it.
Yeah, we've seen Mater supernaturally do it, and like Finn McMissile spy car do it. So
And
there's like
lightning
an
almost do it.
yeah. So there's like an Iron Man version and a like Superman version of like
Hmm.
natural ability versus augmentation. Both exist in the Carsverse.
Okay, so there's that. We've seen Finn McMissile, or maybe another, I don't know. I think it was Finn McMissile, do the Aquaman thing of just being aquatic when they wanted to be.
Yeah, that was Finn McMissile. Uh, I was gonna go to Aquaman. I mean, talking to fish.
I mean, I feel like fish are probably just vehicles.
Yeah, I feel like they could do that.
Hmm.
And like they would maybe not, I mean, getting the fish to do what you want and talking to the fish are certainly two different things, but like I don't know. I feel like with the right radio frequency, if you could communicate with a non-sentient fish vehicle.
There's that, and then you think about the fact that anything that has sonar has this ability essentially already, and that's just, I know where all the fish are.
Yeah, so submarines have like sort of a spidey sense almost when you think
Mm-hmm.
about it, like a
And it's a more
radar.
accurate spidey sense because what a spidey sense is based on is like hyper fast reaction time due to sensitivity to all conditions due to like microfiber hairs on the spider. So like it's just extreme awareness of your surroundings.
Yeah, that is pretty covered by having, radar and
And
much like on a period of miles as opposed to
mhm.
Miles Morales. Am I right? Okay.
Speaking of Spider-Man, spider powers and whatnot,
Uh-huh.
I guess it's time for my interesting anecdote of the week.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
So, a day or two ago, I got really tired. I went to bed as soon as I got home from work, and then I slept for about 12 hours. And then I woke
As
up,
John, this is not abnormal for John.
to see a weird looking spider bite on me. And I'm still waiting for the powers to kick in, but I'm hopeful.
Hey, jury's still out on whether that was an interesting anecdote or not. I'm gonna. Well, yeah, the spider bites are bad. Keep an eye on it. I guess.
Yep, it's very unsettling to look at.
Yeah, if it gets bigger, I don't know. Google it. I'm not a doctor. Uh, but if you get super strength, that'd be pretty cool.
All right, let's talk about another superpower related to Spider Man that we already know exists in this universe. And that is, of course, Mater's hook is essentially webbing.
Yeah, I don't know that we ever see Mater Spider-Manning around, which is incredible to me that they did not ever have Mater Spider-Man around anywhere.
I am positive he has done something at least comparable to it. I've
Yeah,
seen him hanging from things and swinging in some fashion, so I assume it has to be similar.
yeah, we know he has such control, such like fine motor control over his hook and line that he could probably. And like you were saying, we've seen him hang from it. We've seen him swing a little bit back and forth. I'm just saying we haven't ever seen like in a Mater's tall tale him like traveling the city streets with it.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the more like completely within every sense of the word canon that there is uh, for Mater. That's disregarding like godlike abilities that we assume.
Yeah, we've seen Mater travel through time, but we haven't seen him just swing from his hook. So that's pretty cool. Uh, uh, but yeah, I think Mater could. Like, obviously, he could.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't
Even
know if he could do it like back to back to back, but I'm sure he could at least do it once.
yeah, he could grappling hook at the very least,
Mm-hmm.
like a
He could
Batman.
Tarzan.
Yeah, like a Tarzan swing. But I don't know if he would be able to release and then hook it back on something quickly.
Yeah, which is a problem that I've come up across every time I've considered like making my own grappling hook type thing. Is just how do I get
As
it to
you do.
close? How do I get it to reopen? And how do I get those things to happen when I want them to without involving much electronics?
Yeah, I feel like you would have to involve electronics for those things to happen.
It would definitely seem so.
Yeah. There's no good place for the wiki quote of the day this week, so I'm just gonna do it.
Give me that conveniently near the middle of the episode of the week.
Yeah, I forgot to say of the day, so this has all been the title of the day.
Of the day.
Thank you. This week, we are actually going over to a wiki that I don't think we've ever been on because I was surprised for its existence. It is Disney Pixar's Cars 3 fandom.com/wiki slash Tubbs Pacer. Now, as a background, Tubbs Pacer is a character in the Carsverse.
Of course.
Yeah, he is one of the lemons, one of the lemon villains of Cars 2,
Mm-hmm.
which this is a Cars 3 wiki, why is Tubbs Pacer here? But it is a bit more explained in that when you go to the page, the entirety of it is, and I'll remind you the character's name is Tubbs. It's all in lowercase. It's Tubbs Pacer is a character. That's all it is. That's all the Cars 3 wiki has about Tubbs Pacer is that Tuds Pacer is a character. It doesn't have
So,
anything to do with the superhero theme of this week. I just found it and liked it a lot. This one is one that I feel like was probably abandoned a while ago because there are better wikis that encompass more. So all of it's very bad, and by very bad I mean very good. But that's the one
mhm.
I found. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Is
Okay,
Tuds
okay.
Pacer is a character.
Tud Spacer is, in fact, a character, according to that Wikipedia.
I don't think Tuds Pacer is a character, but they say he is.
All right. So, I guess that means it's time for the fun fact of the day.
Nice.
So, Lucas, you want to guess how they did the black suit effect for Superman?
In Justice League, or what?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, did they just color correct the original suit
Yep.
in post? Oh, geez.
They didn't make another suit per se to film. Now, what they did is they filmed all the scenes and then they just changed it in post.
It's rough.
So, that's something, I guess, right? Right?
I don't know that it's fun. I would almost call that the not very fun fact of the day because I don't know. Have a vision for your movie, I guess.
See, but the thing is, they did that not because they thought, oh, I want this to be a thing after the fact, but they did it for what I can understand, two different reasons. Those two reasons are that they wanted to do the Black Suit Superman, but they weren't sure they were allowed to. So
Okay.
they just went ahead and filmed it without it and had the plan on fixing it in post in case they were allowed to, which bring back the Snyder Cut has allowed them to. And then there's the whole wonderful, wonderful thing of they just didn't want people to know. They didn't want anyone to know that the black suit was going to be as prevalent as it was. So what they did is they just didn't have it be a thing while they were filming, and then they faked it.
I don't know that the black suit was like the reveal there. Like,
I mean, it shouldn't have been, but it
yeah,
was a big deal to them.
like obviously Superman was coming back to life. You killed him in the second film of your universe, of your
Of which
DC cinematic
Superman
universe.
was the main character of the first and one of the two main characters of the second. And at the very end of the second, you revealed he was alive.
Yeah, like that was either the post-credit stinger or it was just in the movie. I don't remember. But like obviously he was coming back. And so like why the black and silver suit is cool. So like just lean into the fact that obviously Superman's in it because I think everyone was like, "Oh, Henry Cavill is filming. Obviously he's in it." And
Mm-hmm.
have it be like a cool like hype thing for the fanboys who are like, "Oh, black and silver suit. How neat."
There's that, and then there's the wonderful thing you have to think about of they went through all that trouble, but they never even considered giving him the mullet.
You know, I get it was a different time, man. They couldn't have gotten away with the mullet.
No,
They
they
just
could have.
couldn't
They
have.
could have. You know, they could have. Have you seen Henry Cavill? He is too handsome for him to not be able to pull off a mullet.
Maybe like a full long hair, like his Witcher look, sort of, but like shorter than that. But like a mullet, no.
I'm sure even a mullet, as long as it's not like they shave the sides and the top and just give him very long back, that I don't think he could look all that great with, but still absolutely sure that he could pull off long hair, but with obviously longer hair in the back.
Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree, my friend, uh, as we often do about the DC cinematic universe. Wonder Woman and Shazam are good.
Aquaman was a very fun film.
Aquaman was fine. I had no major gripes with it. It's forgettable, but it's fine.
Love me a good like 80s action flick feel to a movie.
Oh yeah, I had a ton of fun watching it. But like,
Mhm.
ask me any character besides Aquaman and the main villain and Amber Heard's character. Is that Amber Heard? That's not her name. Is that her name?
That is. It's Mara.
Mara. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, there were a bunch of like Atlantean world building that was I don't know fun enough.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Did you know that Unite the Seven was not supposed to be a campaign for the Justice League, but people assumed it was, so they just went with it?
Was it the Seven Seas for
Mm-hmm.
Aquaman? Jeez, I'm crow. Okay.
Yep. It was supposed to be Unite the Seven Seas, and they just decided, you know what, let's go with Justice League, I guess.
Wait, were there 7 members of the Justice League in
Nope.
Justice League?
Nope.
Okay, yeah, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Batman, Aquaman, Cyborg. Yep, okay. Good stuff, DC.
Now, was there supposed to be seven? Who knows?
Guess we'll find out. And then Zack Snyder will have us be like, see, he knew he was playing 4-dimensional chess.
The
No,
whole
the movie's
time.
just not good. Whatever.
We'll find out once we watch the 4 episodes.
We'll find out once we watch the mini series of Zack Snyder's movie that he redid and made 4 hours long. Okay.
Just a warning, audience: if you did not enjoy Batman vs Superman, do not expect to enjoy this miniseries.
I'm gonna watch it. Like, I'm gonna watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be mad while I'm doing it.
See, my opinions on the films were essentially was Batman vs Superman was a very well made movie that I very much liked, and the Justice League was a very fun movie that I think a lot more people could like enjoy casually, but also a much worse made movie.
Oh, also Man of Steel was fine. I forgot that Man of Steel is technically part of, not even technically, is part of the DCU.
Yep.
DCEU, sorry.
Yep. It's the first.
We haven't talked about cars in a second.
All right, so let's talk about things that cars have and do in their world that would be superpowers in our world. I mean, there's
Again,
flight,
flying. They're
flying,
planes. They're plane
going
people.
real fast, ability to take a lot more damage than we would be able to.
Yeah, they're durable. I wouldn't say they're like impervious. They're not bulletproof, but they're bullet resistant more than we are, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Like, if they get hit by a car without being inside of something, they're more likely to survive than we are.
Yeah, they'll take less damage at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was going 198 miles and had the stuff happen to me that happened to Lightning McQueen at the beginning of Cars 3, I don't think I would have survived. So,
True. I don't imagine that having like a lot of my body parts explode and fly off of me would be something I would ever recover from.
or even just like setting aside his feet exploding, and his like various body parts flying off. I'm just saying, if I'm thrown at 198 miles per hour onto concrete, like horizontally, it won't go well for me.
Even with
It,
perfect landing conditions, you're probably dead.
yeah, it didn't go well for Lightning, but like he was fine after a short, like
Two
after it
month
faded to
rest.
black.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, fast. They're
There's
fast.
fast. Ability to drink gasoline.
That was somehow literally also the exact one I thought of in that second.
I think it's because we're both fans of Matter Eater Lad.
Oh, of course.
Oh, Matter Eater Lad. That's such a strange and wonderful creation.
It's genuinely an interesting superpower to be able to A, bite through most things, and B, digest them without
Mm-hmm.
dying.
I mean, all right. Is that a better superpower or worse superpower than Arm Fall Off Boy?
Could he throw the arm and then reattach it?
Yes.
So he has a weapon,
He
a
always
ranged
has a
weapon.
weapon.
Was he like
Handcuffs don't really work on him.
Yeah. Was he particularly good at throwing it?
I don't believe so. I think he usually used them as clubs.
Okay. But you did mention handcuffs, which, if you make one of them fall off, then you've got a flail.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I
But
would
then
say
again,
Matter Eater Lad is better.
yeah, because he could just eat through the handcuffs.
Yeah, and if he throws the arm at it, he'll eat it, and then like, I'm sorry, you can't have your arm back, and then your powers are gone.
Yeah. I wonder if he can control his arms while they're off.
That is something. If he has motor control of like his hands and arms, he could like drop it down a hole and like have it do computer hacking or like break someone out of jail or something. That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. But then again, there's Cyborg who can just do that also.
No, yeah, it's still not a like it's not it doesn't raise his power ranking that much, but like it makes it better.
And then you think about like, okay, so you got that power, but also your arms look super weird all the time, no matter what. So, is it worth it?
Yeah. But if he could like control them when he throws them, he could like keep it in the shape of a boomerang, which probably wouldn't make it behave like a boomerang, but in comics logic, might make it behave like a boomerang.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I would say all cars have arm fall off powers, also, then, if we're going for that.
If you consider the tires to be arms, then absolutely.
Or body parts fall off, at the very least.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, yeah.
So, there's a supervillain who blows people up, but that's not exactly a superpower.
I feel like there are lots of supervillains who blow people up.
Yeah, but he uses a machine to do it.
I feel like there are lots. Most of them are called missiles, but
Okay, let's talk about Cyborg in the Carsverse.
okay.
What's that look like?
What does Cyborg look like in the Carsverse? I mean, I feel like it looks like Finn McMissile.
Sure, but a big thing about Cyborg is that he feels separate from the human race
Yeah,
because he feels like he's more robot than man.
yeah. You always say that electric cars are cyborgs, not
Mm-hmm.
specifically cyborg.
Mm-hmm. And
Uh,
electric cars in this universe, I assume, very much just like the norm, so that can't exactly work.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they feel a little bit separated, but like not to the extent that Cyborg is a robot man.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, not to be
So,
confused with Robot Man from Doom Patrol, of course.
yep,
Uh,
a man with very, very similar struggles daily life wise. You know, am I human? What, what am I? What does this count? Sort of questions.
except he's all robot, so well, he's got a
Except
brain
his
in there,
brain.
but yeah, but
I mean, even sometimes then he doesn't have the brain.
yeah, that
In the
sucks.
comics, I think there was a series where you find out that his brain had also been replaced with just programming, and then he's like, "Do I have a soul? I almost certainly don't now." And it was real sad.
Yeah, watch the Doom Patrol show. It's really, really good. If
I
you,
want to. I really
it's
do.
very good. If you got to get HBO Max for the Snyder Cut, it's on there. So, bada bing.
Okay. Okay. I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna just find some illegal way to watch it. What?
No, yeah, I don't. I don't know how I'm gonna watch it either. HBO Max is money, but I want to
Okay.
talk a little about the superheroes without powers.
So like your Batman's,
Your Batman, if you
your
will.
Batman, your Jason
Yes,
Batman.
yes, your Jason Bateman, uh, or your Green Arrows, or the supervillain equivalents, of which there are even more of, like your the Joker. Does he ever have superpowers besides like one-offs where he gets them somehow? I don't think so, right?
I mean, it depends on what you consider superpower, because, like, he's resistant to a lot of poisons for various reasons. He is immune to his
He's
own
just got a
Joker
bunch of
toxin.
chemical damage to his body.
He's
Yeah.
he's got like a weird common things where like, oh, because he's crazy, he's able to think in a way that other people can't think. Like he can balance multiple thought processes at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah, but he doesn't have traditional superpowers like that. Like folks who are in the superhero realm doing superhero stuff. Your Wildcat usually doesn't have superpowers. I feel like I'm gonna say something wrong, but you know what I'm saying. So like, what do you, are they just like again? Your Finn McMissile, is he Batman?
I mean, he's James Bond, but that raises
Yeah,
the question, is James Bond a superhero?
I mean, if you put James Bond in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's just like Black Widow.
Fair enough. I will say that it's hard for me to consider Black Widow to be a superhero.
She's a superhero. In the If the Green Arrow is a superhero, so is Black Widow.
I mean, sure, but like, she does what she does because she's typically hired to do so.
Not in the MCU. She does it for altruistic reasons in the MCU, and that's people's touchstone with her character.
I mean, even still, she works for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, so does Hawkeye. I don't care, man. She's a superhero. She's in the superhero movies. She's in the comic
Okay,
books.
I'll take it.
But like, yeah, James Bond does all the stuff just without a costume.
I mean, he's got a costume per se.
Yeah, he's got like his tuxedo that he always wears.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's got like, he's got a typical look, and it's an augmented suit that has special things about it.
and I mean, he's got code names,
Mm-hmm.
both 007 and some people consider James Bond itself to maybe be a code name.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say Finn McMissile is our in-universe superhero.
Okay.
Somewhere in between a Black Widow, James Bond, with a little bit of Iron Man thrown in there, maybe.
Now, using my own logic that I've been using for Black Widow, I would consider Mater to be more of a superhero in that universe.
Yeah, but mate, I see. Using your logic, he doesn't do any of it for good. He doesn't use his powers
He
to.
does it because he thinks it's the right thing to do, not because he works for an organization.
Yeah, but the stuff that he does is he turns his like friends fans into dogs, and
Oh, I'm not talking about those scenes. I'm talking about when he just happened to thwart a supervillain.
you're talking Cars too, not Mater's Tall Tales.
Not Mater's Tall Tales.
Okay, you're not talking abilities, you're talking actions.
Yeah. If we're going for Mater's Tall Tales, then he's definitely more of a supervillain.
Yeah, he's a supervillain. I
He
was
tortures
almost.
his best friend and it just enslaves the world to his will.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure we were on the same page because I felt like we were on the same page, and then you said that. But his actions in Cars 2, I don't know. He's a hero. What makes him super? Okay. He does have like the gadgets. He does do the stuff. I don't know. I think Finn McMissile and Black Widow, what a weird pairing we've made, are more of a superhero than Tow Mater. You can quote me on that.
Okay. Now, do we think that the man whose name I always forget is a secret Batman character?
Who are we talking about?
Sterling.
The villain from Cars 3?
Yes.
Nathan Fillion?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is Bruce Wayne or he is a Batman villain? What are you asking me?
Like, he's Bruce Wayne because he acts like a pompous rich guy who doesn't understand things, but that's Bruce Wayne's whole thing is he pretends to be this doofus who also happens to have a ton of wealth and access to all of these strange training technologies. What if he's
Okay.
like studying and trying to recruit people to help make himself the best superhero?
Now that I can get into.
Because like, who's his star? Well, no, he's trying to do all these things, and he's getting racing memorabilia. He's collecting large things that are like, I don't know. I don't know how to compare it to the Batcave, but you know what I mean by the Batcave. He's just got weird trophies.
Yeah, his like Lightning McQueen racing dirt is the equivalent of Batman's giant penny. I see the line you're going down.
So like, he's got certain aspects that are similar to Batman, and I feel like Nathan Fillion could easily pull off a Batman-esque character, at least voiceover wise.
See, I feel I understand. I think that Nathan Fillion could also pull off a Lex Luthor type character in voiceover pretty well. And like, I don't know, he's got more of he's the antagonist of the movie, sort of. No, Jackson Storm is, but he's one of the antagonists of the movie towards the end. So that doesn't help his case. He's like shown to not have a great moral compass in that, and like that could be explained by him Bruce Wayning and being like, I'm a millionaire playboy. How could I be the Batman?
And also, think about the fact that oftentimes Batman is like fighting the League because he makes his own calls that other people really do not agree with. And
Yeah,
then
but
think about like Lex Luthor. Would he hire Lightning McQueen or would he hire Jackson Storm?
he hired Lightning McQueen purely to make money from him. He hired him for his name and then to force him to retire, which that's a Lex move.
He hired him for his name and because he was a huge fan.
He
And
said
then
he was a huge fan. His
I'm
actions
willing to
later in the
believe
movie.
that he was a huge fan who, I don't know how to say it. He kind of wanted to preserve the legacy of this person he was a fan of, but also he was interested in the money of it. I feel like both of those things are true because in the end, the king's people, he gets
Tex.
talked to by Tex, and Tex is like,
Yes.
"Hey, I'm gonna teach you how to be a good person." So like clearly they don't want you to think of Sterling as just a bad guy. He's willing to listen, and he clearly did care enough to at least give all of this memorabilia a great respectful place in this like museum to a person he was a fan of.
Yeah, but I could also see it as like, I mean, the way he treats Cruz is bad. It's bad.
Yeah, but like
Uh,
Bruce Wayne is not exactly a respectful person when it comes to women.
sure, absolutely full-hearted agree. Uh, but like, I could see him almost, if he had Lex Luthor type ambitions, I could see it almost being a story of, oh, he recognized Cruz's talent. He knew that Cruz could be an incredible athlete and maybe rival his own abilities. So he hired Cruz and then stuck her in this going nowhere job so she wouldn't realize her potential and be able to rise up against him when his plans unfold and his training has completed. Now, this is a lot to say about Sterling, the villain from Cars, the secondary villain from Cars 3. So is saying he's Batman, so I feel fine about it.
I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about Lex Luthor is that he could have easily become Batman.
Yeah, fully. I think that's a really interesting thing about Lex Luthor. And
And
sometimes,
oftentimes, whenever Superman is taken out of the picture, he tries to step up and be the hero that is needed.
oftentimes he's very bad at it. Sometimes he's good at it.
Hmm. And it was
Sometimes he
sad when
joins the
this.
Justice League.
It was sad in the most recent issues when he turned evil again and sided
Oh
with
no.
Brainiac.
Who could have get Oh, he always is gonna side with Brainiac. Is they align too much.
I think someone explained to me that the most recent issues where they had Lex and Brainiac be on the same side, the reason they were complementary is because as a perfect being, Brainiac couldn't really conceive failure and how to react to it.
Yeah, and I mean, Lex has that human creativity part of his intelligence. Like you can't fault Lex for being unimaginative. He's a
I
very
mean, you
that's
can in the fact that he was imaginative and powered his super suit with a radioactive rock that he puts near his heart.
And then he got kryptonite cancer in several different stories.
Hmm.
Oops.
And then he cures it with kryptonite.
Oops. Uh, electricity powers. They got
Hmm.
electricity in them.
They do, and I feel like electricity is going to be very, very effective against large, like mechanical metal beings.
I mean, what is a jump start if not, an electric that a car does to another car?
Hmm.
You know?
But then again, rubber tires.
Rubber tires. You gotta watch out for them.
Now,
What's the
Tesla
famously
coil.
bad line from Batman and Robin? Rubber lips are immune to your charms or something.
Yep, but that was Poison Ivy. I thought you were going for Storm and X Men, like the first one.
Oh, the you know what
You know what
happens when
happens
a
to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The
same
same
thing
thing
that
that happens to everything else.
and then she demonstrates it. It's God, superhero movies when they are bad are pretty fun. The whole movie wasn't bad, just that line was bad.
All
Okay,
right.
how do cars become superheroes? I
Uh,
feel like there's an obvious track of the classic, either Batman, Iron Man. They just get modifications to their body. But like,
we've explained how James Bond is in this universe as Finn McMissile, but how do we
but
talk about biological powers?
yeah, how do we talk about your metahuman or your mutant? I mean, Superman is an alien, so it is like have an alien car come, and that's
Hmm.
fine. But your metas and your mutants are what I want to get into.
All right. We've already talked about how flight, not really a thing, being able to fire missiles and whatnot, that all those things, so we can't really talk about super strength or super speed all that well. We can't talk about flight all that well. So
Okay,
are we talking psychokinetic powers? Because I
maybe.
think everyone has a minor form of that,
Yeah, you do think everyone is psychic in this universe,
but
and
only
then
a
when
little bit.
only a little bit, and when everyone's special, no one is. Syndrome said that in The Incredibles. Uh, superheroes, you get it.
When everybody's car, nobody's car.
But everyone still is car. It doesn't translate super well. Uh, but I was thinking, since like mutants have like something different in their genetics, maybe some like the equivalent of being a mutant is having like some sort of beneficial factory defect.
Lucas,
Yeah.
what if everyone in the Cars universe is a mutant?
Okay, lay it on me. Like,
That's it. What if there's a weird mutation that makes everyone turn into car?
makes everyone car. So what you're saying is Origin Stories X-Men right now?
Mm-hmm. Very specific X-Men based power.
That spreads. Hmm.
It's like a latent thing that just all of a sudden everyone their quirks are unleashed.
Okay, can't Apocalypse? I don't know if he can give people powers, but he can enhance powers definitely.
Yeah, he unlocks your secondary evolution.
So if everyone's secondary evolution is car, Apocalypse could do that.
Mm-hmm. See, that's one weird thing about X-Men is that secondary evolutions are just a thing that people don't talk about all that much. Like Beast, his primary evolution was just like being a little bit more bestial as a person, like being a little thicker, having the hand feet, being more agile, and then the fur and bulging muscles, that was his secondary form. So, what if no matter what it was, if you had like Angel, if you're Angel, your secondary form is your wings become plain.
Or since we already see some mutants secondary form, what if there's an untalked about like tertiary form or fourth form, and that's vehicle?
Or maybe
Or
just
maybe,
one Omega level mutant decided, I'm going to change everyone into car.
yeah,
And that
maybe,
car became Mater.
yeah, maybe instead of the famous Scarlet Witch "No More Mutants" moment, where she wiped out like most of the mutant powers in the universe, maybe she got, I don't know, she found a car that she really liked, and in a moment of intense emotional happiness, she said, "Everyone should be a car." She didn't know what she meant, but man, it did
Or
happen.
or what if she didn't say no more mutants, she said no more people and all people just became vehicle.
Yeah, and the universe was like, "Listen, I don't want to kill everyone, but like she did say she is Scarlet Witch,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll do like genie logic and make it an unintended consequence to her weird. This is a weird episode, man.
Mm-hmm. So either there's an Omega level mutant, or no more mutants just turned everyone into car.
Yeah,
Or I guess
why
it
not?
could just be like a cyborg thing where a mother box just appears on Earth and someone touches it and then car infection.
Yeah,
A
I,
mother box.
I
No, okay. So Justice League is a prequel to
sure,
Cars because
go for it.
Steppenwolf gets all three of the mother boxes and actually succeeds,
And
turning everyone into cars.
that's what Darkseid wanted to happen on Earth.
No, that's how he subjugates the entire world, because now we're producing fumes that Darkseid wants, but Steppenwolf was just doing all of this to prove that he was a good servant, so he turned us all into cars.
Okay, yeah, sure. I do want to say, I thought I came up with a pretty good thing where I said maybe cars get superpowers from factory defects. So I don't know. I'm gonna go back to that, even though you pivoted away from it.
All right, let's talk about one that's not really a defect, but it's a very uncommon thing, and that is, of course, our Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde character, who is a
Yes,
car and is a plane.
he's Man Bat is what he is.
He
Uh,
is, well, he's
from
Man Bat
Batman.
at will.
Yeah, Ah, poor man
So,
bat.
sometimes you just want your arm back, sometimes you just want your hearing back, and you become either a lizard or a bat, respectively.
A man bat. Sorry. Uh,
I mean, the lizard is not called man lizard.
yeah, but the bat is called man bat. So
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm saying maybe a car gets super speed because there was an accident at the Cheetos factory. No, there was an accident at the factory, and somehow it gets real wound up. I don't know how cars work, but comics writers don't know how human biology works, so it's fine.
All right, so there's an experimental fuel, and this fuel is introduced to an engine when it's being built, and now the car can only accept this type of fuel, but this fuel makes the car go real fast.
Yeah, something like that. Like I feel like these things happening to it when it's built, because we know with Dusty Crop Hopper's struggle to replace his engine block or whatever the hell he needed replaced in Planes Fire and Rescue. Like you can't really change the inner workings of yourself that much.
Mm-hmm.
So like someone couldn't really give themselves superpowers unless, of course, they're operated on by Dr. Maru from Planes Fire and Rescue, who did in fact Frankenstein something together in in Dusty Crophopper. So for all we know, Dusty Crophopper is a augmented superpower person. But
He is a Captain Marvel, so there's that.
yeah, yeah, something
Just
like that.
naturally good and powerful at everything.
Yeah.
Then there's the whole Dr. Maru clearly made his minions that all have, they're all like ATVs that also have the ability to chop down trees and lift trees out of the way. So those are clearly experimented, augmented people.
I could see them being like red tornado type beings.
Mm. Or they're like he's Dr. Light and they're his Mega Men.
John, you've gotten that one
His
went over my head.
Okay, they're his robot masters.
Oh, like Dr. Wily.
Dr.
And
Wily's the bad guy.
I don't know Mega Man. Podcast seems like it's probably over. We're talking about Mega Man.
Who is, in a way, a superhero?
Yeah, lots of video game characters are, in a way, a superhero.
Let's talk about one who isn't. Let's not talk about one. Let's list one.
Uh, Protagonist from Grand Theft Auto. He's a criminal man, a human person.
All right, then let's talk about a non-superhuman, I guess, because like I don't want it to be based on hero or not. I want to think about like, is there a video game character who's actually really normal? Like Steve from Minecraft can punch through trees, so that's not normal.
I was gonna say Stardew Valley, but no, he goes in a mine and he fight. The protagonist kills monsters on the reg. That's the same in most Harvest Moon games, but not all of them. So I'll say protagonist from Harvest Moon, who just like has a farm. He can
Nice.
usually see magical imps, but he himself doesn't have magic. He just sees them and
I'm
talks to
sorry,
them.
but the ability to see the Fey child,
Yeah, he's blessed by the goddess.
that doesn't count.
Yeah, yeah, you got me.
All right. What about nope. Can't
A
nope.
sim from The Sims.
Well, that's clearly not the case. They have the superpower of doing whatever their master wants them to do, including and not limited to just becoming the president if they try hard enough.
Okay, I felt
And
like
there
that
are
was
Sims that can just easily become vampires.
uh any sports game character, because they're real people, like Peyton Manning in Madden 2017.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'll accept it.
nice, got there. I'm proud of that one.
All right.
I felt good about it.
I don't typically think about sports, so that's fair enough.
Yeah, it's a very popular video game genre.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's not a very popular video game genre? This podcast. It's a podcast, so it can't be. And it's over. Thank you so much for listening to it. We really appreciate that you do it. It's a weird show, and we bring some weird energy to it. So we we really do appreciate y'all tuning in every week. And if you want to, like, I don't know, talk to us, You can do that. Did you know that? You can, like, send us emails and stuff and be like, I liked it in the podcast when you said Peyton Manning wasn't a superhero because I thought that was good, Lucas. I agree, but I don't know that you think that unless you send me an email at thekachat at gmail.com or tweet at us at thekachat on Twitter. You can also DM us there. Also, it's you please send us like stuff to talk about. But if you thought my suggestion of Peyton Manning as a video game non superhero was good, also send us that. John says stuff and he's going to do it right now.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe, tell anyone and everyone that you think might be in the least bit interested in listening to this podcast about said podcast, and just take it easy. Have a good day, a good week, a good life, and take it as it comes, and just be true to you, true to what you feel, and it's a sign of strength to be able to cry. So remember that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. As Michael from The Good Place likes to say, take it sleazy. That's not our sign off. Uh, it is. Don't forget to float like a Cadillac.
And sting like a beamer.
Ooh, I'm sleepy. Good
Me
night.
too.
Oh, happy Lightning McQueen Day. It wasn't important to the episode. Sorry.